Grace, your brother, or at least a creature that wears his face, holds up his hands, palms out, and speaks. He says, I would have stopped them if I had gotten here in time. And he's pointing to the corpses that litter the floor beneath your feet. I just learned that you are here. I know it might seem like perhaps we're enemies, but I promise this has been a very large misunderstanding. The violence that you've been subject to so far was not supposed to happen. So would you all just put away your weapons, speak a moment?
How long have you been away? Do you even know how long it's been?
Not really, but I do understand that this might be a bit of a shock.
So how long has it been that you've been, whatever this is?
A couple of years.
Years?
Yes,
Your entire family has been looking for you for years.
And it pains me to have put you through that. But things happened, and I want the chance to explain it all. And I know that regardless, there's going to be some hurt, and I understand that, and the anger that you're feeling, well deserved. But I had reasons, and I have to stick by them.
Well, first of all, let me just tell each of you that this can't be my brother because he wouldn't have done such a thing. So don't trust a single thing he says. Beyond that, I think we're prisoners. And she just glares at him.
You're not... I'm asking for an opportunity to parlay. I'm not taking anybody prisoner.
So we could go if we wanted?
There are complexities, but yes, if you want to walk out the door, you're free to do so. I'm not going to try to stop you. But listen, I can't promise that everyone shares my particular sentiments. Things are complex here.
What is happening here? What is this? What's complex?
What's happening is we are trying to build a future for the city here.
In death?
Yes, in death. Well, not quite in undeath.
Undeath.
Listen.
It's not better.
Your brother is undead. It's pretty cool.
It's not. That's one thing that isn't. We disagree on that.
Listen, those of us who have chosen this path, we can exist in the city without fear. The dust, it doesn't impact us. In fact, some say it make a lot of the rituals that we perform to cross over a bit easier. This is a future we can live in the city without fear of... I mean, you have a third arm. You know, I mean, we've all undergone some changes.
Right.
And this is useful. I'm saying this is also useful,
but you've chosen to die.
I actually didn't choose to die.
Oh, you just died and then...
I did just die, and I was returned without... I'm one of the first one. Listen, this is one of the things we can talk about. I have been awake for a couple of years, since before the incident. Okay?
Before?
And yes, I couldn't teach you because I couldn't reach out to anybody who was still alive from my family because I wasn't supposed to have been made.
Well, then why were you? Who did it?
Because it was like Dr. Gage's work at the time wasn't legal.
Oh.
And so, look, I was just as upset to wake up as you might be to have found me now. At the time, I was furious. I didn't understand this had been thrust upon me. I didn't make this choice. But over time, I've come to see that the work that was done on me can be used to give the people of this city a future.
And death?
Yes, undeath.
But that's not a future, that's death.
But it's not. I'm right here.
Right, but like, do you eat? Do you need facilities? Do you need lodging? What is the point of life if you can't breathe and sleep and do all the other things that you're supposed to be able to do in your life?
A lot of the things that are weighing you down are things that you can learn to get past. best.
I fundamentally disagree with you about the point of life.
Well, see, this is why we're not out there just telling everybody about this, because it's a tricky situation. I understand the reaction that you're having. We are moving very carefully and very slowly. That's why I couldn't reach out to you even after I had become accustomed to this, even after it became legal to practice necromancy, even after the disaster and everything went to hell. We have to be very careful. We have to keep to ourselves because, quite frankly, we don't know how a lot of you are going to react.
It sounds like a cult.
It's not a cult. Nobody is forced to do this. Right now, it's all
are?
volunteer. Well, okay, but that was part of the progress, and I came to realize afterwards that it was all for the greater good.
It's called brainwashing.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same exact thing. I'm so sorry to interrupt this family reunion, but that is brainwashing, and yes, I agree, it's a cult. And for you to not stop this zombie horde from attacking us, and you just pop up out of nowhere and go, sorry, but let's be friends now? You should have stopped the horde from the beginning.
If I had arrived seconds earlier, I would have stopped this whole thing. I didn't know you were here.
That wouldn't have been very fun, though.
You seem very injured. Listen, I understand that there are a lot of questions, and you're probably rather upset. And this is a delicate situation. But perhaps you would be willing to stay for a little bit. We can sort some of this out. We can tend to your wounds.
My wounds?
Your wounds as well.
And I'm hungry.
We can get you food. That's not a problem.
Lots of food.
And quite frankly, Mr. Thriddlehill, we're aware that your things are here and you want to get them.
You like look over and he's like juggling a journal, a pen, and his short sword is still just tucked under. He's just like trying to write down everything that's been said. You're like, oh yes, I need those things fast.
Yes, I understand, and we can discuss how all of this can be done, but it is very delicate. Again, it is complicated, and
Clearly.
Do you have documents based off of your experimentation?
we have lots of research. We have been doing a lot of
I'm
experimentation.
talking about documents on yourself.
I'm sure Dr. Gage has records from the rituals he performed back those years ago. He's a very careful researcher.
Do you believe him?
What else am I supposed to do? I mean, we're stuck here. We're sort of not prisoners, but guests instead. I might as well figure it out. Looks like it's got my brother's body at the very least.
I mean, did your brother have a scar or anything like that? That you remember?
I don't think it matters at this point. There's
He's
lots
all
of scars.
stitched up. I feel like I've been like laying in the corpses. I've just been there like dripping in blood, and I've been fascinated by this. And I'm looking at Grace, and I'm looking at her hand, and I'm looking back at you. And Hogan thinks it's the coolest thing ever that her brother is dead. So I get up at this point, and I just get really close and start, and there's like smearing blood on your face and touching the stitchings, the scars, and who did this work? It's fantastic.
I can
teach me.
introduce you to our resident nurse. She can help you with your current predicament as well.
No, I can fix myself. I'm a professional.
So is she.
So now what?
Well,
stay here?
now why don't we get you to the medical ward? We'll get you some food. I'll have you talk with Dr. Gage about your particulars.
I need to see the medical as well.
And we can accommodate all of that. Yes, of course. And we can talk. I understand. It just, again, not asking for a lot. Just some time to sort things out internally so that there aren't any additional misunderstandings. And, the chance to be heard.
Are you undead?
No, I'm not. Do I look it? I probably smell like it right now, but I'm not.
Fine. Where do we go?
I can have some rooms made up for you all. If you're hungry, we can get you food right away.
Yes.
We have...
Everything.
Yes. Okay, give me 1 second. And he calls out, and a moment later, Beatrice returns He says, okay, B, could you take him to see the nurse? And I'll take you to the kitchens, and then I'll show you two to some rooms where we'll can all stay, and then I'll try to set up a meeting with Dr. Gage for you, and then we can, just cool off a bit.
Fine. Hogan, don't forget your hand.
You know what?
Oh my god.
That
The coolest.
I got it and brought
that is a Grace hero point
That
for
is
sure.
the coolest thing. I don't have the hand. The hand is out there somewhere.
You have a hand.
I do have a hand, but
It doesn't yet crawl around.
I've been holding it.
Oh
my god.
It does look like we had some extra hero points come in. It looks like we should have a total of 6 at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Whoa.
6, and then that extra one. If there's another hero point, if there's a 7th hero point for the group, that's fine. But I did one that one that I just gave to Grace is definitely for Megan, because that was cool. Great, Megan earned a hero point for that. So
Gotta bring
part of
props
that.
next
Let's
week.
give her a hand.
Thank you.
You like what I did?
So
Boo.
good.
Man, I know, isn't it ridiculous? And
Is it sound activated? What?
it has a button right here.
Wow.
That rules.
CBS.
Wow.
Oh my god, I have to
See the
go.
wild magic in
I have to go early.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
Wild magic in.
There's a new wild magic in the air. All right.
Yes.
So Hogan, the ghostly form of Beatrice, begins leading you, like, come along, away down one of the corridors, and Seamus is leading the other 3 of you down a separate corridor. And at that point, let's deal with this wild magic. We'll say, Hogan, as you're going, you've all sort of felt it many times.
Tinglies.
But there's the tinglies in the air. I'll have you go ahead and roll me a d10.
10.
10. Okay. So, this one is very interesting, and this one might kick off some interesting things for chat. Have you all been keeping track of the coins that
Yes.
you've been receiving?
I think I have.
Yes.
I have 12.
Yes.
Excellent, because now every coin that you have can be spent as a boost. You can only use coins that you've been given. So if you've been keeping track of how many coins you have, that's how many individual boosts you have. And those boosts can be used to add a +1 to any d20 roll. And you can add as many of them or as few of them to any individual roll as you want. So you guys all have individual boost pool.
Yay.
Can we share them?
Thank you.
Nope, you have to. The coins can only be used by you.
Can we steal them?
Can't steal them either. No.
And then it consumes the coin.
And it consumes the coin, yes. You spend those coins now as boosts for the rest of the episode, anytime you roll a d20.
Thank you.
That's
All
like
right.
the nicest wild magic ever.
Yeah, it gotta be nice sometimes.
That was
Not all
sick.
of them have to be bad. Some of them are just nice. They're just good stuff.
Yeah, you're not all doomed and clumsy like this guy.
And that does account for any coins that you get during this episode. You
Ooh.
can use them, like if you get more coins during this episode, go ahead and use them. They're for you.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna deal with Hogan, I think, first, since you've sort of been taken off on your own. Beatrice leads you down a couple of the hallways, and you come into a room that you pretty easily recognize as sort of like an examination room. It's very like doctor's office-y kind of room. Right, there's this tray, there's these gleaming medical tools all across it. There's jars of fluids and swabs and gauzes everywhere. And then there's this large table. And Beatrice offered, just wait here, and the nurse will be in just a moment.
And I hop up on the table like a little kid in the candy shop, Jim,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting.
And you only have to wait a few minutes when the door opens, and this woman walks in. And she's immediately striking as a sort of stitched together amalgamation of patchwork skin, all of it bearing the pallor of death. Though her skin has that sort of cold, bluish, cadaverish hue, her eyes are very bright and sharp. And you see that occasionally when she turns her head, there's almost like this gold ring around the irises that catch in the light. She sort of watches you for a moment, almost like way too long when she first steps in, before she finally like steps forward, and you can see this sort of like fascination in her eyes as she's like looking at all the various wounds that you have, particularly the one running down your face. And she almost like reaches out just to touch it, but then she stops herself and pulls back.
Oh, I was reaching in. It was like that like the rom-com. Yeah, I was reaching in for the touch of the...
Yeah. She's like,
How bad is it?
did you do that one yourself?
Which one?
Well, that one.
I did.
Yes. And some of the stitch work, too.
I did.
Yes. I heard you call yourself a professional. You're pretty good at this.
I've been studying.
You can see that she's not really anywhere near as interested in like the bites and the bruises and the claw marks from the zombies that you tried to body surf through. She's really, really focused on like a lot of the cuts, even the like ones that are sort of long scarred over. I'm sure that there's plenty of places where you've carved into yourself over the years.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means Hogan cuts himself, but not in like a sad way, but in like a because he likes doing it way. And she says, well, I'm supposed to take care of some of this. Yes, of course. And she starts, she grabs like a needle and thread and starts sewing up and bandaging all the wounds that you have. And she does very good work. Let's see how many hit points she gets back real quick. It's gonna be D8s. She restores 21 hit points over the course of, 10, 15 minutes worth of work.
I'm Michael Jordan now, Jim. This is crazy.
And as she's like finishing up the final stitch, she puts all of her tools down and cleans them off.
You clean your tools?
Well,
I never clean my tools. Is that bad?
Well, for the living, yes. If you work on the living, you should. You do good work, but you should clean your tools.
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes,
Rotation!
Oh no!
Who's getting? We'll deal with that in just a minute. And she's finishing up her work on you. She says, there's actually, if you, you obviously know your way around these tools. There's a lot of work here for someone of your talents. I kind of handle all of this myself. Our bodies need a lot of maintenance, and I'm just saying, if you stuck around, you could certainly put those skills to use.
It could be fun. I'll think about it.
You should.
Have you ever stitched anyone's arm to their face? You know what I like to do? When I'm stitching someone up, just start stitching where I don't need to. It's a good time.
A lot of the people here don't appreciate some of the more artistic endeavors that you can get up to with some of this work. People are very particular about their bodies and the way it looks when we're done, but maybe you could help convince some of the people to explore options.
Jim, he's gonna be like the Edward Scissorhands of Yes!
We should discuss this more, but I have others to attend to.
Right, sure.
Maybe I'll see you around later.
I'll see you around.
Yes.
Don't tell Grace.
And she leaves the room, and a moment later, like Beatrice sort of, she phases through the door, and says, "Oh, come along, I'll take you back to your friends."
I feel like you were watching us the whole time.
No.
It's okay.
I hate Hogan so much.
Let's turn our attention back to the rest of you. First of all, as you are being led down the hallway, ostrich, you start to feel a little weird, like extra weird. Because first there's the tingle of the wild magic, and then some extra weird stuff starts to happen to you, and I need you to roll a d10.
Oh, God.
How many mutations do you currently have?
Just the one right
Just
now.
the one. Okay, so
Yeah.
this will be added to your current mutation.
I've rolled a 4.
4. Okay.
Dust level up.
Dust level up. +1 to all spell DCs and magic effect DCs, thanks to the dust.
Thank you.
And as you're walking, you all see he actually like almost falls over and trips forward. And you watch that it's because the bones in your legs are cracking and snapping. And it doesn't hurt, but it feels really, really weird as your knees buckle inward towards the back until you have like reverse articulated feet.
Bird legs.
You
have
gave me
bird
ostrich legs?
And you catch yourself and you're trying to walk and you realize like it is a really, really strange sensation and it takes you a minute to like get your bearings. But you do now indeed have bird legs.
Oh, good.
You can increase your land speed, and you have the powerful leap ability right now, which you can actually, if you look that up, there's an ability called powerful leap. You now have that ability, as well as quick jump. Like you gain all of those feats at once.
Bird legs.
You have bird legs.
Still have all the gills.
The
and
webbed
stuff
feet,
in the
yeah.
back?
Yep. He's an
like a duck.
amphibious bird. He's a duck now.
He's a duck frog.
He's a duck frog.
Wow.
He's a, I can't say it. He's a frog duck. Put him together.
Yeah.
You do the work.
Are you all right?
Horse. Oh.
I wish I was there to see this.
There is something terribly wrong.
What's it look like back there?
Bad.
What?
And what's the real
What?
part?
Well, it matches your name now.
I go up and down a little bit. Am I still like a halfling
Yeah,
size?
your overall height hasn't changed. You feel you can actually get way lower without bending now. Like you don't have to you can almost like sit down, like nestle down on the ground without bending your body at all.
Oh, that's the new way that I sit now, for sure. It's so awkward.
But are you in pain?
Not pain, just icky.
Icky. Yeah, you're very icky.
This is the strangest thing.
But look at those calves, damn.
Yeah, the backwards. Very nice.
I feel like I could jump very high.
Well, the ceilings are low, so I don't recommend it.
Yes, I agree.
Unless you want to get to the second floor, you just have to go through that first.
That's oh man, I want to see if it's easier to climb through that window now.
Probably is.
I need to write this down. He pulls out and starts jotting his notes about the knees buckling backwards.
So you are sort of getting your bearings when Seamus stops and says, "Food
Yes.
in here. Yes,
Yes.
we will feed you, and then after that, I can
Perfect.
take you in. You can see the nurse, and we'll
please.
get you fixed up. But you'll hang out here. Beatrice will lead you to the rooms where you're all staying.
Great.
As soon as you're done, and then he walks off with these two, leaving you sort of by yourself now.
To eat everything in sight.
I'm gonna grab everything.
So you walk through this door and you're in this hall. There are a lot of long tables and benches that are not very unlike like a really large dining room. You wouldn't call it a cafeteria. It's still a little bit too intimate for that. But oh dear, something's mad. Something's angry.
I think it's the fridge.
you fixed
And then the
that.
lights go out. Everything gets dark.
We
Everything
don't hear
gets
anymore,
dark.
Rady. We're good. We're good.
Um,
That was weird.
So in this very large dining room, and sitting at one of these tables is a very large, pale, and clearly dead figure who gets up and very ponderously turns towards you and sort of lurches forward into the light. Says, "What do you want?"
I need some food, please. I'm very hungry.
I don't have to cook much these days, but I do remember how. So just stay put for a minute.
Did you say owl?
No, I said I remember how.
Oh, I thought you would have to eat an owl.
Do
okay.
you,
yeah,
do you
sorry.
want owl?
No.
I could probably
My
find.
bird would not appreciate that. No. They don't listen.
I am afraid most of what we have is meat.
That's
Little light on the vegetables.
That's fine.
He goes back into sort of a kitchen area, and you can hear a lot of clattering and moving about. Sort of leaves you there by yourself. And as you're waiting, you hear the door that you came through originally open. You look over, you see this mummified figure shuffling towards you, and they have a fiddle in one of their bandage-wrapped hands. Gets right up to the table that you're sitting at, slams the fiddle down on the table, leans forward to look at you. Are you settling in? Okay.
Yes. How long have you been under this undeadness? I don't know. How long have you been like this?
You know, Cochrane was a friend of mine.
It's Cochrane.
Uh,
Asking.
Is that what you say?
This is Diana asking.
No, I know, but I'm just curious.
Oh,
like,
then if
I don't know. Zamira might not know.
Okay, so then I'll go back into character.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who's Cochrane?
Looks over at the fiddle. Says, of course, you wouldn't know who Cochrane is, but you killed him.
And you have his fiddle. I'm
Yes.
assuming.
I do. Why did you kill Cochrane?
I don't know. Diana doesn't know.
So at least, I mean, I would imagine Zamira recalls that just out front of the building there was the skeletal musician.
Oh, him! He was threatening my friend.
Was he?
Yes.
Was he? And what was your friend doing here?
We were trying to retrieve our
You're not supposed to be here in the first place!
Well, I'm sorry.
That's why we don't let the living in, because you don't understand. Yet.
Therefore, I'm allowed to be here so I can finally understand what's going on in this
You're
establishment.
allowed to be here now, but the damage has already been done.
Well, I'm sorry for your friend.
I'm sure.
Anything else you want to say to me?
I do.
Okay.
You might think we're monsters here, but I want you to know, we're not. We're civilized. We know about and enforce justice. Seamus might have given you a pass for now, but he's not the biggest voice here in the tower. And when we decide to take our justice, well, we'll have to see what happens to you and your bird and your friends.
Who is the higher up here then? Is he your leader?
Perhaps. Or perhaps it's more of a community sentiment that guides things here.
You say you're not evil and mad. Then why would your friend attack my friend if he started it?
You're so certain that he started it. But I'd say he was protecting his community.
And I was protecting my community.
You should have stayed in your community.
You shouldn't have stolen our things.
Those things were abandoned.
They were not. There was a storm. For the living should not be in the storm. So we had to hide. Would you expect me to bring that entire wagon into a building?
Well, I wouldn't expect that you would start killing anybody who finds something in the road. that they thought was abandoned.
Well, maybe the shares said something.
I'm just saying there are standards for murder.
What is your name?
Shurash.
And you just live here, Sharash?
I do live here.
Do all of you undead live here?
Most of us do, yes,
How
because
is
the
that
living...
such a life? Don't you want to be out there?
We get murdered in our own homes, and you wonder why we stay in the tower. But no, we don't all just stay in the tower. No, we go all over the city. All over the city.
To recruit more of you?
If people see the value in what we're doing, it is because there is value to be had in it. At that point, the larger undead man comes out with a plate of meat. It's been cooked. It smells good. You feel like, okay, no, the guy actually did know what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he sets it all down, and he sort of looks at you, and he looks at Shurash. He's like, you can tell there's sort of like he kind of looks at you like, with the sense of like, is there a problem? Like, are you okay? He actually seems genuinely concerned, which is not maybe, I don't know what you would expect from him, but either way, he seems to be like concerned because he can feel that tension. Yeah.
I'll kind of give him like a quick look, like it's okay, and then I'll start eating.
Sure. Shurash, at that point, just sort of like backs away from the table. Says, "Enjoy. Could be your last one." And walks out the door. Which takes us to back out into the hallway. Seamus has been leading the two of you now down the hallway. And he leads you towards sort of like a central, what looks toward like a sort of a hub room. It's like a sitting room, right? It's a very nice, cozy sitting room. But there are several rooms that branch off from this that are, you can just look into the door. You see there's like beds, and there's, it's basically like almost like a shared living space kind of deal where there's all these little bedrooms, and then there's this one central area. And there's enough that a lot of people could stay here, but he says you'd have your pick of just, this is, if you'd stay here for while you're here. We don't, if there's anything you need, just let me know. I mean, we might have forgotten some things because
You're dead.
our needs are a little different, yes. If you'll hold on just a moment, I'll show, you both can stay and talk. I will go and see if Dr. Gage is in, and you can talk to him about your things.
Your legs.
No, kinda
You like him?
liking him now.
My third hand is a lot helpful.
And then Seamus leaves, and sort of leaves you to your own devices. A moment later, Beatrice comes back in, like leading Hogan in. And then not too long after that, Zamira is brought in through the door. And you've all been sort of reunited in this central hub. You can see again, like the newcomers, there's space for you to stay.
Jim, can you roll how much health I get?
So how much health do you
Someone
want?
got a coin too.
Well, nobody has really seen to your stuff yet. Though Hogan has returned, so you could always ask Hogan for a little bit of
Are you
help.
kidding me? You said she was gonna see me after.
Well, now she's infatuated with Hogan, and she's back in her room like dead lady heart Hogan, except it's a decrepit heart.
onto
Yeah.
her arm.
Yeah. And Hogan's just laying on the bed, kicking his feet back and forth.
Whoa, were we all back together?
Yeah, they all sort of bring you back together, and the lights come back on.
When did this happen?
Oh, yeah.
It's very strange. Out of nowhere.
Got ostrich legs now, I guess. Look at this. I up and down into the sitting thing.
Can you lay eggs? You almost look like a duck now.
No,
Can you quack?
no, I'm still
You?
a male halfling.
The top part is not.
I'm like a weird
ostrich,
centaur. I'm like a bird centaur.
Basically.
That's kind of cool. write down bird centaur.
I would ask Hogan to cure me or do something.
Yeah, and then I
Do something.
Do something.
And then as that's happening, I would turn to Grace. Grace.
You have to remember, as I'm stabbing into you, to when you're talking.
Okay. Yes.
So,
Yeah, don't forget to
forget
cry out in
that.
pain every once in a while. Very important.
Very important.
Grace, I don't think your brother's in charge here. There's a higher up.
Grace is going around the room and she's like turning, like pulling things open and like opening cabinet, just anything she can look under. She's doing
damage. 6 points of damage. Or do I roll a
damage
d20 first? I'm sorry to interrupt. Do I roll a d20
No, it's
first?
the damage. Damage
So
first.
6 points
then
of
the
damage.
D20.
Okay, I'm half.
Oh God.
Sorry, you
Yeah,
keep going.
I need to be healed.
And she's just digging through the whole place. She does not want to believe anything that is currently happening. She's mad. But she's saying, well, what difference does it make? I don't even know if it's actually my brother. I mean, maybe they're somehow listening to us right now. Maybe he's like a ghost as well, like Beatrice is in here. You up there? She's just yelling at the ceiling. And she continues she's still talking to you.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of situation we're in. I suppose at the very least we can at least figure it out. Because you got to get your stuff back with your little your shelf looks like your own legs.
Really, Hogan? Wait, ow!
Don't murder her.
18 on the 18 total.
18 total.
Because I had a 7 on the die, which is
Well,
a very
now
good check.
well, here's the question.
It's 18. Yeah.
What DC were you shooting for?
Well, this is up to me for
Well,
DC.
so because you're an expert in medicine, right?
I'm not an expert.
You're not an expert yet?
Let me see. Medicine. I'm trained in medicine.
Okay, in that case, it had to have been DC 15, which is a messy success. So you.
Oh, it's always messy.
Yeah,
It's
and
always
because you did risky surgery, you bump it to a critical success, so you can restore 48.
48.
4d8.
48. It never gets old,
Yeah,
folks.
48.
Not
Never.
ever.
Never.
No matter how many times they do it, it never gets old.
It's true.
Thank you
And there's
for
another
the
hero point.
Thank you.
Ostrich, now in his...
Michael Jordan.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, thank you.
Now in his little weird roosting position, pulls out his pipe and starts smoking. And he's like, well, I've got a... Subsplosion! It's like, long and short of it is, I've got to get these supplies to... Was it the Citadel, right?
Resolve is the name
Resolve,
that they
that's
call
what I
the
was thinking.
community.
Yeah, I've got to get it to Resolve. The undead have no use for the medicines, for the food, for the seeds. It does no good being here, and it will do a lot of good. There for the living residents of Resolve.
I agree.
Nope, of Phantom.
But what do we do about it? Well, it seems like we're guest prisoners, like I said. So it seems like we gotta move through this unless you want to get some of those zombies out there and use them as horses to pull the wagon of all your stuff.
Well, can you command the undead to do your whims?
Yes, lesser undead.
Are
Why?
those lesser?
No, I'm not that powerful.
Because I don't have a horse anymore.
Wait, I thought your horse was fine and is back to life.
Well, it's a dead horse.
Well, I mean,
They
Is that
beat it.
undead? Oh,
It's an
undead
undead
horse.
horse.
oh, that'll still work.
But whose loyalties?
I don't know.
Because it's a lot of. Okay, worst case. There's one chest in there. It's the one I told you not to go into.
The walking
Chest. That's the one we need to get out above any and all.
AMC's the walking chest.
Well, that one seems like the easiest one. You don't, I mean, it carries
It'll
itself.
follow,
so-
yes.
Alright, so then we don't have to worry about the rest.
I mean,
But I
I'd
might have a job here, guys.
like to get the rest
John,
out.
what are you talking?
Yeah, stitching people up, and then I finish up on her, stitching into her face, and there's a heart. There's a heart on your forearm.
There's gonna be a heart.
And it-
I knew it.
You like it?
Yes, why did you give me a heart?
They like my work here. They want me to work here.
Is this your signature stitch now?
No, I might just. I'm feeling a certain way, maybe.
Towards me?
It almost made me spit more. No, no, of course not.
Then why would you make a heart on my arm?
I don't know. It's a
Do
subconscious.
you have feelings for me, Hogan?
No,
Then why'd you make a heart?
I like hearts.
Is it an anatomy?
An anatomical heart.
Okay. You're having feelings. What do you mean feelings? What's going on? You want to stay here? We need you, Hogan.
Sure, okay.
You can come back here another time. We're here for Ostrich. We need to figure out what's going on with VANTAM.
Trying to save the people.
It does sound like they're trying to do the same thing here, just in kind of the opposite way, which honestly does sound more like your type of thing.
Yes, but we need him right now.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying we're kind of in a bit of a spot. I mean, how do we wander into the one place that Hogan would obviously want to stay of any other place? Doesn't that seem a bit odd?
Yes,
And specific.
and your brother is here that wants to stay in this place, even though he was dragged into this, so he had no choice.
Right, that's my understanding, but he seems to want to stay. So, if it isn't even him at all, I mean, maybe it's his body and somebody else's brain. I don't know how this works. Do you?
I think it's still your brother. He's still your brother. I don't know exactly what they're doing here. I haven't spoken to the doctor yet, but I think it's still your brother. He's there. You should ask him something only your brother would know.
Well, that's why I was asking if there's a scar or something that you remember, but everything's so stitched up.
Right. Well, if he even has the same memories, but I suppose I could.
Now what? Do we just wait?
I've just met you 10 hours ago.
I don't.
Sorry, we're
This
just,
is Ostrich's worst day ever.
I just don't know what to do at this
we want
point.
to help you, Ostrich. I'm sorry.
Well, but this seems important.
We're just here to
That
help.
is
We're just here to help, brother.
Hogan. I'm not sure about him yet, but your brother seems to be an important thing to see about.
I suppose. Yes. But why are all these things coming together in this way? I don't know. I say we look around here. We don't trust what anyone's told us. Or at least find your stuff so we can you command the chest to walk on its own to get to.
It should be trying to get to me at all times.
All right. So we just listen for whatever is knocking against
Knocking
the door.
against the thing, yeah.
That's easy.
Unless it's tied down or weighed down.
How much can it carry?
Not a lot.
Well,
About 2 bulk.
2 bulk or so, you say?
Yeah, 2 bulk.
You guys hear a knock at the door.
maybe that's your chest.
Before we get to that knock, Jim, I have a question.
Yes.
And this is more just for my mental image.
Sure.
Are my bird legs feathered or are they human flesh?
No, they're regular regular human flesh legs, but they are like reversed. Yeah, it's real weird.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I thought it was gonna be.
off-putting.
And the feet are still furry.
Yeah, I still.
Oh yeah, his feet otherwise have not changed.
So it's
yeah.
all. Oh man.
That's upsetting her.
Yeah, I think it is rather than the
It's deeply unsettling.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, back in.
Back in. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you hear a knock at the door.
Who is it?
It's Seamus.
Great.
Come in.
Opens the door, and you can see immediately that he has a little bit of a worried look on his face. He says, "Okay, so I've been. I think everything's going to be fine. But have any of you talked to anybody since you've been here?"
I have. Can you shut the door?
Yes, of course. He does.
Do you undead hear very well through walls?
Nobody's.
There's a
nobody's
ghost lady
listening
that's
in.
always
We're
watching us.
going to be okay. No,
The
be
ghost
Ghost
lady.
lady.
She was watching, me and the nurse kind of.
What were you doing with the nurse? Never mind. It's not
That's
important.
why you put the heart. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about that later. I met in the dining hall a Shrush.
Yes, I was.
He's pissed off that we killed his friend, and he said something about your name, and he's mad at you. And there's a higher up that's running in this establishment, and I don't know if I should feel for your life because you're dead already.
Right.
But he
Undead.
doesn't seem to like you, and I don't know if I trust you, but you're the only person who wants to talk to us, and...
Well, you're right and wrong about some of this. There is a possibility of danger, but not to me.
To us.
There are, well, yes. You did kill Cochrane.
You know, I was partying with him.
I understand. But here's the thing: there are some people here who have taken issue with some of the things that have happened. Now, I understand that nobody's at fault here. You came in.
You're talking about the skeleton fiddler guy.
Yes. Cochrane.
He's pissed off at me.
Well, he's pissed off at all of you. There are some people that are holding you responsible. The point is, we can solve this. Now, look, we don't really have courts or anything here, but there has been a call for you all to address the community and to hold you to account.
Are we going on trial?
No, not specifically. Well.
Can't you just bring back the dead?
All that we need is there's going to be a meeting. There's going to be a meeting. You're going to simply tell everyone in attendance what happened. That's it. Just explain what happened. And I'm sure that what you did was in self-defense and unavoidable misunderstandings. And once a vote has been taken and people have determined that your story checks out, you'll be fine.
Vote.
Who did we kill? And how did we kill them?
What people?
Cochrane. It's the skeleton.
You're
the skeleton.
undead.
Right.
By all rights, laws don't apply.
Okay, well, hold on. That's something you're going to want to not say again at all to anybody else.
I'm just as written. I don't say a stance either way. I'm just as written.
And I'm telling you that that's something you're not going to want to say to anyone else. Let's not worry about the laws before. Things were in a very, let's call it, primitive state back then. A lot of us are very much, I myself have been able to maintain, we'll call it a soul for lack of a better term, right? There are undead that are raised and they don't have the ability to do anything but whatever they're told to do. They're meat puppets. That happens, and that was a thing. We are trying to move beyond that. We don't. The point is, we are people now. Most of us. It depends on the specifics of the ritual. It gets very complex.
Okay. I hear
Yes.
what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree.
Mm-hmm.
However, it does seem, based on Samira's conversation earlier, that there is an amount of
Hostility.
just disarray
Yes.
in your community's organization. And if there's no community, then there's no society, and then there's no society, there's no way to impart your structure upon us.
Here's what is going to happen, and the different outcomes that are possible. You're going to address the community. You're going to simply tell them what happened and explain to them the particulars of your encounter with Cochrane and how that unfolded. And the community is going to vote. And if they believe your story and they believe that you were justified, then we can move forward. And if they don't believe your story, or they believe that what happened to Cochrane was not justified, there's going to be a different outcome. And I'm not telling you this to threaten you. I can't stop it, because you may think that there is no organization here, but we have something of an organization here. It is currently more of a will of the people kind of thing. And if the will of the people is that you murdered Cochrane, that's going to be very bad for you. But again, I'm sure that didn't happen. I'm certain that things just got out of hand. We expect there to be some friction between the living and the dead. That's why we keep to ourselves. But I want you to just imagine. I want you to imagine the problem that I'm having. Imagine I were caught next to a dead body in your community. That would be, you get it.
You'd
You
be
understand.
Burned. You'd probably be burned.
You
dismembered.
understand.
But did you take our stuff in that scenario?
Okay, now.
Because that's
there's
theft
gonna
and
be-
recovery.
and look, we can discuss. We're going to resolve that issue next. The things we will resolve all of that. I understand that is.
It's just an extenuating circumstance in
Of course.
this
And
so-called hearing that's going to happen.
you make that very clear. That might be a very convincing argument to the others. You're not trying to convince me. I am on your side. I don't want to see anything terrible happen to you. I very much want this to go very well for all of you.
Well, I think my question is, what boon do we gain by going through this whole thing that your society wants? Why don't we just go and take your stuff, kill whoever gets in our way, and get out of here?
Sounds fun.
I would prefer that things didn't come to that. I have long feared this day. Long feared the day that we would have to meet up with people who didn't understand. This is very difficult. I want what's best for you, but you have to understand that you could try, Grace, and I believe you'd get very far, but there's a number of us here.
I spent about 16 years since I've known what I can do.
And she has another arm now, too.
There's also the potential that those waiting for me won't wait forever and will come to look.
If that might be a different problem that I have to try to manage. I'm trying to manage this without a bunch of people getting killed. You understand that, right?
How does the undead get killed? I mean, they're already undead, so what difference does it make?
What the difference is, if you took that sword there and you chopped me into tiny pieces, yes, I would stop existing just as surely as if.
But you just put you back together then, right? Isn't that how it works?
Sometimes.
We haven't had a successful ritual on one of us who've been destroyed. It's something we're working on. It's a problem we're trying to solve for, but as of yet, no.
You have to harness the power of the storm.
Once you've been brought back, once you're taken from that place, that's it.
This sounds worse and worse the more you say about it. Not only are you dead, but also you can actually fully die. And then what? Where's your soul go then? Have you ever thought about that?
Well, I mean, where does your soul go when you die without this? I mean, you act like all we're doing is saying there's a chance after death. This is another chance.
You don't know what you're doing by deciding that, though. It's not yours to decide. It's not anyone's.
And I mean, aside from my particular case, nobody is brought into this against their will.
That man upstairs did seem rather interested in doing it.
We're very, very careful about selecting who we tell about this, how we bring them in.
Is our plan not to turn the entire city into undead so that they can live in this climate that is here now?
I mean,
You need some sort of envoy system. You send one of yours over to the livings. One of the livings come back here, represent their interests in your community.
look, we've managed thus far pretty well, okay?
But no, I'm pretty sure that's how republics sort through. It's like this right here. This is why that city fell.
When is this trial?
Well, what I'm asking you to do is come with me now.
What do the rest of you want to do? I mean, we're essentially doing it for them to go on their timeline.
Mutation! And dust level up!
Dust level 2! Magic damage? Oh, Zamira! Zamira, how many mutations do you currently have?
One.
One. All right, so we're adding one. Go ahead and roll a d10.
Okay.
Very hungry.
Maybe it's get out of trial free card.
You are immune to legal consequences.
Do I roll it in the hero point box?
Just roll that.
Just
no.
roll it.
Yeah, just-
That is a 7. No, sorry. Yes, 7.
Okay.
No, because the
No, they're
look at that.
they're
Looks-
glass die, and it's
It looks. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Fudge.
You start to feel
You're so sick.
your mouth starts to feel really like it's almost like you got something caught in your teeth, like way in the back, and you can't quite get it, like a piece of meat maybe way in the
I
back.
hate when that
You can sort of feel it.
happens.
Yeah, it's maddening at first, and then you start to taste this really bitter, sort of almost bile taste,
Oh no.
and it's just awful, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, and then it starts to fade.
Okay.
It starts to fade.
That's reflex.
But you feel almost like these weird little like openings on the insides of your cheeks. And what you have now is the ability to spit acid. You make a ranged attack roll, just like you normally would. If you hit, you deal persistent acid damage to your target equal to your level. But then you can't use that ability again until you spend 10 minutes like resting and refocusing.
So I can only spit once.
Spit once, and then you need a 10-minute rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's damage. And how much is the damage?
The damage is equal to your level, so right now it's 5. So you deal 5 persistent acid damage.
Just as soon
Yep,
as I
it's a
spit.
straight up 5. Yeah.
you keep getting things.
How
You
long
gotta
can
eat
I
too much, and then
pocket?
It's a 30-foot reach. Yeah, like you can just it's very powerful. Yeah.
Can you cut through materials?
are you like
like
xenomorph?
You're like
Why
reptile
possible?
now
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Mortal
Xenomorph
Kombat.
spit.
Don't say reptile or lizard. Adam already makes fun of me and thinks I'm a lizard person.
Well, now it's
They came to
confirmed.
my Discord and said Diana's a lizard person.
Wait, why are you a lizard person?
I'm
Because you spit acid
not. This
now?
is a running joke between Adam, Conn, and I. Oh, great. Thanks, Sarah.
Well, now you
How you-
got.
how you know it's
now you
Sarah?
have
It's
acid
Sarah,
spit.
we don't know who it was.
Okay, sorry.
Could be Adam
Thank you.
Conn.
Conn. Thank you, person. Thank you, guys. Okay, persistent acid 30.
Yes.
Got it.
All right, so Seamus, yeah, he's kind of looking. I'm hoping you will come with me. I understand you may make a different choice, but we don't need to do it this way.
I mean, if worst case, we can always fight out that way, and then at least everyone's together.
True.
This is true.
If that's what you all want to try.
But if things go wrong, I'm taking my blades out.
One other caveat is that you can leave your blades here until after you've accounted for yourselves.
Who's going to take them from her?
Well, you can leave them here, or we can do it a different way, and I'm trying to avoid all of that. Would you just listen to me? We can get through this without this conflict.
Look, we just met you, so it's hard to believe
Well,
you.
that's not true. They've actually.
Yeah, but we don't
That's
know.
her brother.
She
That was a
doesn't
long
know.
time.
It was a long time.
How many years?
16. That's what I said before, though. I spent quite a long time.
Prove to her you're her brother.
I don't know how to.
Say a secret. Say something
What did you
guys
used to sing
did.
to her on her birthday?
She hated my singing.
What song?
I mean, is there a story, something that happened? Because right now, we're all 50-50 trying to believe you.
Listen, I understand. You. I have gaps. I don't know a lot about before. I don't know a lot about before. There are gaps. This is difficult.
Perfect on that, I see.
Listen, forget about whether I'm your brother or whether I am just somebody wearing his skin. Forget about all of that. And focus on this. I want us to get through this without anybody else needing to die. If I wanted, there would be conflict. But I don't. I am working to avoid this. I care for my people, and I care for your lives. I want this to work out for everyone. Push everything else aside and help us all get through the next hour. Then decide what you want to do about whether I'm your brother or whether I'm just some guy you met. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the people in this tower and you tear each other apart.
Fine.
I mean, it's you that is being accused. I suppose we
Well,
all
it
are.
is all of you. You are all being held responsible for this.
Fine. Let's go.
And will you leave your weapons?
I'm gonna see what I have that I can hide.
Yeah, if you want, that's a totally valid. Let me know if you want to attempt to hide a weapon.
I'm gonna
you can
attempt
make
to hide it just a
sure.
dagger.
I
Roll,
believe we'll
just
call it. I
attempt.
believe it's just stealth. Then, if
Stealth?
you want to secret a weapon on your person, yeah. Is it one of your swords or a dagger?
It's just a dagger.
Okay, yeah, great,
because
great,
it's
yeah.
small.
Sure, yeah, perfect.
You got hero points.
Oh yeah.
We have a hero.
We have
point.
lots of hero points. You may have some
one-on-one
boosts
guy.
too.
Oh, you got your
Oh, yeah,
coins as
boost.
boosts.
Your
as
coins
well.
Do I
as
have
And
to call
boost.
that now, or should I roll and then?
Yeah, you would have to call it beforehand. Yeah, whether you want to use any.
Okay, I'm gonna use 5 boosts.
5, so you're getting a +5 to this roll.
What is that? That's a 12 plus 5 is 17 plus 13.
17 plus 13 is 30. So yeah, you've got this dagger. It's like right in the small of your back. You're
Right.
pretty sure no one's gonna notice unless they do like a full like examination. Like you're a professional. You know what you're doing. So you have your dagger. Is anybody else attempting to hide a weapon on their person?
Mine are too big.
I only have the short sword.
I have a dagger.
Take it. Okay, put it down. Great. Just thank you. It's gonna be fine. I believe you. Not as some of the others already are on your side about this. Like it's gonna go fine. You only have to convince a handful, and you're golden.
How many of you are there?
And there's I think 30 of us in the voting block right now. Some of us are still fresh from the grave, so to speak. So there's a recovery time after you get turned. We can talk all about that later. But.
Like every time that he's like, you just have to convince them. You just hear under Oster's business, burden of proof is on the accuser. This isn't how it's supposed to work.
So you are all.
Let me clean my tools. Hold on, and I have to put my tools. I was told I need to clean my tools. And I start doing the weird, like cleaning it in his coat and
That's not.
spitting
that's,
it, and then putting it in, putting
Sure.
my medicine.
That's right. It's not right.
Did you fix my mouth?
Did I fix your mouth?
Wait, when you
Yeah,
were
I
sticking me
sewed your arm to your mouth.
up? Okay.
So you can make
Yeah.
constant
Yeah, and there's
arm
a heart.
parts.
Remember, there's that very realistic heart on your arm.
Yeah. No, I'm just
I fixed it. Yeah, you're all good. Well, you got 20. What?
no because I as a mirror should probably think that because of the acid, whatever's coming out that she tastes is probably from your.
Okay, I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about that. I just spit clean my tools. I don't know. I'm putting things away and I'm following.
She's just staring at you.
following the bro,
She's
that's
just
fine.
disgusted.
So Seamus leads you out through a series of corridors, and you are brought to a very large room. There are rows and rows of seats before, like a raised stage. It looks a lot like you get big school auditorium vibes. Like there's like a raised area where the teacher's going to tell you about what's happening for the year, and where all the kids sit down below, completely bored out of their minds. Seamus takes you all to the stage and assures you that, look, it's all going to be okay. You're just going to tell everybody what happened, okay? And as he's sort of briefing you on what's about to happen, figures begin shuffling in, taking seats. You see a few sort of mummified corpses. You see a skeleton. Just a skeleton walks in, sits down towards the back. You see several like stitched together people who have a very similar look
Different,
to like.
but, like, different
You actually
parts.
spot the nurse. She takes a seat. Sort of towards the front.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah. But yeah, the space sort of fills up, and you would guess there's probably a good 30 or so individuals present before things get started.
And take a bunch of big drinks of that flask that I got from Morton.
Yeah. Once everybody's sort of filed in, Seamus actually steps up onto the stage to address everybody. He says, all right. I've brought the uninitiated here, the living, to account for the recent disturbances we've endured over the past day. And while it is true that there has been violence, these 4 have killed people that we know. I can vouch that what they did was necessary for their own self-defense. They were not the aggressors, and as is requested, they will make an account for their actions themselves. When they're done, I'm sure that you will all agree that they've committed no crime against us, and so we are going to all live up to our aspirations as a civilized organization of the dead, and hear what the living have to say. And he steps aside and looks to you 4 and says, go. What do you all do?
First, I look around. Which one of us is probably the most charismatic of the 4?
You're all sharp speakers, as if I know anything.
Probably not me.
I have a 14.
I have a 12.
Probably.
So far, Grace.
That it's not going, my charisma's probably not going to go the right direction in this situation.
What's yours, Hogan?
Whatever you.
Charisma?
What's your...
I mean, I got other things. I got other things up my sleeve. Deception, you ask?
Grace kind of looks at all of them and she's like, so what particular murder is it that we committed? Was it when we were trying to...
It's a skeleton, bard, skull face guy. The awesome guy, the musician.
that was attacking us, right?
No, he was playing for us.
No,
and
his friends
Ian.
came out of the door and
Friends
started
came
to
out.
attack
His
us.
started
Friends
to
came
attack.
out
Right.
and started attacking. Was it you?
I believe it was, wasn't it? Because we were trying to get into the building so that we could get Ostrich's things back because they had been taken and then we were attacked. And
Hogan was just a distraction.
dancing. I
yes,
was dancing.
you were dancing
what
with
distraction?
him.
I was dancing.
You were cutting your face off.
I was.
you
Well,
were cutting your face off.
that's between me and my face.
Anyway, they came out first, trying to fight us. And we came in to protect Hogan. It
Right.
was out of self-defense. Well, we just wanted our things. We didn't want to kill anyone, I promise you.
Right, no offense, but since most of you are already dead, we sort
I'm
of thought that
dead.
we couldn't kill you again.
Yeah, we did
And
just
then
learn
I
this.
apologize.
We did just
Can-
learn this
You can, yeah, they can be.
from Seamus,
Right,
he
well,
said.
we didn't know that before, so it wasn't an intentional thing. It was safety.
But also-
on our parts.
The items that you stole were intended for the citizens of VANTAM and to help ease the suffering and to help them live better lives.
Live being the key word.
You don't need the medicines, you don't need the food, you don't need the seeds.
So then why steal it?
I will have, I think, Grace make a sort of a primary check.
Okay.
You can. I would say you're probably going with diplomacy because it seems like you were just sort of trying to
Yeah.
tell the story.
Yeah.
It seems reasonable to me.
Okay.
Anybody who wants, who spoke, can make a check to aid. It's DC 20, but I would say if you fail your check, you might impose a penalty instead of a bonus. So
And
it's a little bit of a risk.
It's a diplomacy check?
You could use diplomacy.
Can I use society?
Uh,
Going closer to laws and whatnot, I think.
I would say because of your specific argument, I would say yes. I would accept the society check because you mentioned the theft part of this as sort of a yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. We got them in there. I have +7. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna use 5.
Especially.
I'm gonna use 5 coins to
You're
boost.
using 5 coins on yours.
And I'm
Okay.
also, because of my quickened, I don't have good diplomacy. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
12 plus 7 is what?
12 plus 7 is 29. Or, sorry, no, 19.
Fudge!
Larry Bird, Jim.
Larry Bird.
33.
All right, very good, very good.
Can I use some of my coins now to make it
You
a
can
20?
use a hero point now.
Okay, I'll use a hero point.
You can use some of your coins on this roll if you would like to.
Yes, I'm going to. I'll use 5 more.
5 more.
Here we
Ooh,
go.
big bonus.
Is that?
That's a 15, I think.
Yeah, 15. 15 plus 5, 20 plus 7, 27.
Okay, so we've got you had like a critical success. So
33.
we're gonna say +2 from Ostrich,
Okay.
+1 from Zamira.
Thank
What about
you
you,
for the
Hogan?
coins, friends.
I kind of want to re-roll it, maybe. I'm going to use a hero.
There's hero
I'm gonna
points. Use a hero
We're
point.
gonna use them. We got them. We're going to use them.
Yes,
Hey.
thank you guys again.
No, you gotta roll in the box.
Roll in the
Let's roll
box.
the box.
Oh, the hero point box, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The Norse Foundry hero
You
point.
know what? Norse Foundry Hero Point box needs.
That's what I
The-
use.
Do you want to
the
use
Norse
any
Foundry.
coins on this
Die.
roll? Any boosts?
I'm going to drop them all in. 9
Oh.
gold coins. I'm
Yeah.
splashing the
Plus
pile with
9
gold coins.
bonus.
Plus
all
9
in.
bonus to this one with the Norse Foundry die. Ooh, it's good. So a 12 plus 3, 15 plus 9.
24. So that's
24.
Success. So that's a total of +4
There you
from
go.
the
Thank you, Norse
ally.
Foundries.
Oh
All right.
gosh.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
I got a 2.
Hey,
Use a
we're
hero point.
credited.
Use a hero point.
Hero-
Fudge.
Okay, that's a 14. That's
Okay,
okay.
good,
Plus
good,
4, which is an 18 plus, I believe it was 2 diplomacy. Where did you go? There you are. Yes, plus 2. What is it? 8, 20. 20, dirty 20.
Oh my god. Just 20.
Yep.
Plus how
30.
much? What was our bonuses?
Plus 4 was the total bonus.
Yeah. So you all sort of get through your spiel about how there's the stolen goods and it wasn't your fault.
I never killed any living or dead person either.
I just stare at you like, really?
And there's some murmuring going out amongst the gathered dead, but it all sort of
Coin, thank you.
falls a little more quiet when a figure that you recognize stands up
Uh-oh.
and says, "Are we really going to sit here and listen to this? These intruders came in, killed not 1, but 3 of our brethren. And they're going to stand there and say it was because we stole a wagon of what? Garbage that we found on the road?
Garbage to you?
They're murderers, and we should all recognize them as such."
That's ridiculous.
And you realize that if you don't get control of this narrative, things could go pretty poorly. So it is up to you once again to decide, how do you defend yourselves against these spurious accusations?
Grace just goes, "Who the hell are you all to decide that we killed anyone? This is absolutely ridiculous. It's our words against his, so either you decide to kill us or not, I guess." Which, at that point, we're getting into weird.
To be fair, he wasn't even there.
Right. That too, you've accused us all.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, it looked like you were going to say something, Hogan. I was just giving you the opportunity.
No, I was just looking at you.
Great. So you sort of throw out this counter argument, and you actually hear somebody when you mention, especially the fact that there were no other witnesses. Like you feel like well, make another diplomacy check, and then you were helping out. So go ahead and roll to 8 if you would like.
Can't believe my diplomacy is better than yours. By 1.
She's not very diplomatic.
21. No, 23.
23.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, so that's going to give you an additional +1 bonus to this roll.
Okay. I got an 18.
Ah, okay, we're
yes.
doing it.
19.
No, 20.
21.
21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my plus 2.
And you can see like the crowd doesn't seem to be paying too much attention to you even at this point. It's not even so much.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Yes.
Perhaps it's because
is
you
it?
changed into something unspeakable.
Maybe it helps charisma.
What is it?
Look how
Add to my teeth.
Look how blue your eyes are with your teeth.
They make.
How's he gonna
Yeah,
look at his
look,
eyes?
look how blue they are.
Blue.
Maybe you're one of them.
One of who?
These undead people.
Maybe I am.
They have gold rings
Gold rings?
around their eyes.
Yeah, but he's
Some of them do, you've noticed.
What is it? Lay it on me.
Well, yeah, so you're standing there up on the stage and you start to feel this really weird, sort of sickening sensation, and I do need you to roll a d10.
I'm gonna check it out.
I hope it's a
hope
good
it's
one for
amazing.
this.
Oh man, come on, be amazing.
Give duck legs.
2!
Ooh.
Cracked it.
Your hands start to feel really weird.
Oh god.
Then you look down and you can see it's because your fingers are growing very, very long, and your nails are growing out.
This is a dream.
And you
Dream come true.
now have
A claw.
2 claws.
2 claws?
Both of your hands have elongated into claws. You gain a claw attack that deals 1d6 points of slashing damage. However, your new really long fingers are very, very awkward, and any activity that would require very fine motor control, if you were doing anything that requires very delicate fine motor control, you would take a
You
minus 2
mean
penalty.
like risky surgery, perhaps?
Hey, it could be very delicate work.
Is there more damage now? Is it like a roll a d10 for
No, you
risky
just take
surgery?
a-
Maybe
just
we
take a minus 2
pivot and just become undead to save time.
Maybe.
Just give in.
This is incredible.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
No,
I'm
because
like
you're
a wild animal now.
Now?
That's the problem.
the only healer of this group.
My fingers match my teeth now. This is incredible. Because my teeth are long. They're like jaws from Bond, and now my hands are.
We can teach him to use them and still be able to do surgery properly. Right?
I think Jim Jam wants to make it hard on fan art. That's all I think this is.
I'm not the one throwing
Mutations are the
They
best.
want mutations. They're getting
are the best.
mutations.
You guys are right. We need more mutations. We're missing one more mutation. We just need one more, and we will all have just one more mutation.
And I heard duck arms come out of her, so just saying.
That's Team Black Nail Polish over there.
Team Black
Oh
Nail
yeah, we
Polish.
forgot to coordinate.
Team Black Nail Polish.
We didn't get the memo.
We should do blue next week.
Okay.
Or blue for, yeah.
So you all can see that Grace's arguments, it is even so much that people are like disagreeing or agreeing at this point. It's just that this Sharash seems to be speaking over her, getting louder and louder, commanding the room, and people are paying more attention to him.
I will
than they
pull
are
your
to
head
you.
off with both of my hands if you don't stop talking over me.
She's just starting to get really mad at him.
And also, we're on trial, not
doesn't
you,
help.
Sharash. So if you want us to speak our argument, you better listen to what Grace
Whoa,
has to say.
I just want it to be known that I did not hurt
Oh my gosh.
any undead in any way. I actually was healing our friend who was playing. Do you guys remember?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think you did
I
that.
just want you to know.
Oh no! It's a mutation.
Yes!
You know who's getting it. You know you gotta roll a d10, Megan.
So, right as she's like
Do it.
yelling about. Okay. That's a 4.
Okay.
Okay. Your skin starts to turn a little bit grayish.
Oh, great. Oh god.
And when you poke it, you seem to lose a lot of sensation. You realize that if you concentrate, you can actually make yourself incredibly rigid, and you can actually turn yourself into stone.
Wow.
When you do, you immediately gain resistance 10 to slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing damage.
Ooh.
However, you immediately become stunned 3, which means you lose 3 actions. So you turn yourself into stone, and then you lose 3 actions. And you can only use this ability once before you need to sort of recharge it with a 10-minute rest.
Okay.
But does that become? She still move? She doesn't just become like a
Oh, sorry. And
solid
then
statue?
no. So she becomes stunned 3, and that ends when you are no longer stunned. So you lose 3 actions, and then once you've lost those 3 actions, you revert back to
Mario Tanuki.
Tanuki, yeah.
essentially
Yeah.
yes, effectively
Nice.
yes,
Awesome.
Tanuki Mario.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably currently yelling.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you are. You're trying to get back that, and I would say that we were both involved. So either one of you could sort of take the lead and make, I would say, probably an intimidation check. Trying
I'm
a
much
different
better at
tactic.
those.
And of course,
level
dust
is
has gone
up.
up. We're at the
level.
3rd level of it now.
I have a 0 in it.
A 0.
Where is it? There it is. Yeah.
Well, also because I'm affected. Fuck. No, sorry. That was a 7 on the die. 7. Oh, you said there's a penalty, right?
What do you mean that there's a penalty? Who's making the primary check is the first?
Me.
You're making that primary check? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm
what
not
was your
eating it.
total?
7.
Your
I don't
total
have-
was 7?
Yeah, I have a
You're
0.
too nice.
I am too nice. Normally.
Okay.
Hey,
So that's a critical failure.
No, okay. I'm gonna do a hero point.
Okay.
Hero point.
Needs a hero point because it's a critical failure.
Hero point. In the box. Here we go. Dice care. Not? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Hero
God's
point.
broken.
Wait for it.
It's a 10.
10 total?
Yeah.
So that's not a critical failure, but it's still, well, yeah, it's technically a critical failure.
Whatever. Give it to me. It's fine.
So that's going to be a -2 penalty to your check because people are like,
I'm sorry.
instead of working together, she's like shouting over you while you're trying to like tell this other guy to stop. Like now it's just a lot of yelling on the stage. It makes it a little more difficult for your message to get across. What was your total on intimidation?
Probably for the best. Okay, so at a -2, that would put me at a 19.
A 19.
So I think I'm gonna try to re-roll that.
Oh, we're
have
going with the
coins
hero
too?
point, and this the
Yes.
person
So I have
the
hero
grace
point.
hero point gets turned in.
Yes. Okay.
And it's two better. That's still a 12. It's the exact same number.
You can't get out of that.
Oh, use
19, 20,
coins?
21.
These
19.
coins.
Yeah. Oh no. Can I still add them?
No.
How many coins do you have?
9.
9.
I thought you got to call him before.
You
I did, I
do
told
typically
her
have to call him before. However,
He wants us to get past this.
However, as I had mentioned, we reached the 3rd level of dust. And what the 3rd level of dust does is it enhances all wild magic effects. Because the usage of the coins is a wild magic effect. I was thinking we can either, I'll let you guys choose.
Okay.
You choose whatever you want. We can either say that you can spend a coin for a +2 bonus, doubling the boost benefit. Or we can say that now you can spend your coins before or after you roll the dice.
I like the before or
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, that seems more beneficial in the overall scheme of things. I suppose.
Jim is fair and just. I'm talking to the people upstairs. Jim is fair and just. I've always said it.
People upstairs.
People upstairs, you hear me. You know exactly what I'm talking
2
about.
of you. Both Adams.
I don't think they were making any arguments.
I don't know.
Question is, what do you as players want to do with your boon here?
I mean, in this instance.
In this particular instant, yes, there's one clear answer.
Yes,
Yeah,
if we want to utilize it in that way.
Yes.
But if we would rather the other boon.
No, I think we're all
I
in
think
Oh,
the
do we have
before
to
or after.
decide
Okay.
one way or the other?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, one or the other. Yeah.
Well, we're already reached a consensus of 3, so.
yeah.
So you're out. Yeah, whatever you want, it doesn't even matter. Okay, so now the enhanced effect, because the dust is you can use your boosts from coins before or after roll, which means you can now add however many you want.
So I will add 9, making it 28.
Ooh.
28. Even though you and Zara are sort of tripping over each other, at some point, like she looks over to you and she sort of sees like, oh, okay, wait, she makes space for you.
Let her intimidate the people.
And you sort of shout over the crowd, and everything sort of dies down. And actually, the cook who made you your meal, which was actually pretty good, looks over at Shirash and says, "She's right. Let them speak. That's the point of this. Sit down and let them tell their story." And everybody sort of quiets down. You can tell you haven't really gained the trust of the crowd, but you've at least stopped this guy from stealing all of your thunder. You feel like now is the time to convince these people that at the very minimum, they don't want to tear you limb from limb.
I just want to say that I love the undead. I have, a hand. I almost made a pet hand. I love the undead. I love stitching the undead. I love raising the undead. I love controlling the undead. I want to let you know.
We want to tell them that we control them.
What I think he's trying to say is that we could control all of you. What do you?
No. Make no.
I'd like to request a separate trial.
No.
I don't know her.
No, listen. We want to coexist, and we want to help each other to live through VANTAM. If it's being undead or being alive, okay? That's what he's trying to say. Is that he loves the undead as well. We're not.
trying to intimidate them.
to their point, you do want to live. You're going to have to live alongside the living and the dead. And you can't have overly aggressive undead just coming out and attacking people because they're in your area. Even when they're trying to reacquire their legally owned possessions.
Also, when you're dead, what do you live? How does that work? What is the word? What is the word for? Is it live? Are you living? You're not living.
It's unlife.
You're unliving. Are you guys? Are you unliving here? Are you deading?
So at this stage, I would say Hogan is the most likely candidate to make a primary check here. But I'll accept arguments from everybody else. What do you guys think?
No, go for
We'll let
it.
Hogan take the lead on this one. He was the first one to speak. Hogan, based on your argument and what you're trying to convey, what skill do you want to use?
Jim,
Yeah.
Hogan is lying through his rotted teeth. Jim,
Okay.
he is using his deception.
He does
Okay.
love the undead.
I know,
His
but yeah.
what?
But you
You do
love
love the undead.
Do I?
I don't know. Well, yeah, specifically the nurse.
Okay. Hogan is pure chaos. Hogan will say whatever. I'm gonna go with deception if you allow it.
I don't get that, and the reason that I even if his words are true, his intent, he has an ulterior motive that he's tapping into. He's not really necessarily trying to lie to them, but he is
guys
trying
know
to
me?
distract them from their anger and trying to distract them with being sort of this kind of weird guy. So I would say deception works. You're really just creating a distraction here. Who wants to? You all made a good argument, so you are all eligible for an aid here. And what skills do you want to use to aid?
I want to use society.
I'm good with that. You're still sticking with a purely legal argument. I like that. You can use society.
I figure intimidation.
Intimidation, yeah, you were trying to just get everybody to shut up and let Hogan tell the story. And assure everybody that you could take them if you had to. What do you think, Samira?
It would just be diplomacy, because I have
Diplomacy.
I'm gonna
just
use
trying
this
to-
hero point.
Oh, hero point from old ostrich.
Then I'm gonna go to my cat's eye.
a...
Not great, but not bad.
16, 15. If I use all 5 of my coins, it's 20 exactly.
That would be a success.
I also am gonna use the remainder of my coins to get to a 21.
That would also be a
I got a
success.
30.
You're 30, that's a critical success. Yes. So that's
And
+1,
just-
+1,
just for
+2,
information-
+4.
You guys didn't know I was lying, okay? You don't know I'm lying.
I do.
I said that. No, you're
I do.
metagaming
No,
now.
no, I know.
Okay,
you
now we're
don't
gonna have a
know.
separate
You
trial.
don't know.
No, I
No,
do.
you don't know.
Separate
You
trial.
don't know.
Oh, who's lying?
I was talking to the GM here.
No.
No. I'm using my you don't know. You don't
Well,
know
exactly.
about-
We don't know, and you
don't
said
know.
you love.
Thank
There's
you for
another
the
coin.
coins.
Coins for people.
27, Jim.
Is that with the +4 from your allies?
No. I didn't even realize I was
Yeah,
just going
you
on
got
with
a
deception.
critical success from Grace, which is a +2, and then a success
31.
from each of the ones. 31.
31.
When you get done with what you're saying, you see, like, you catch the eyes of the nurse,
nurse.
who is clapping. She's looking around and she's clapping, and everybody's just like, that's right. He wants to help us. He said that he'd stay in, and he wants to. He was looking to join us. We should give them a chance. And you can see that there's a lot of murmurs. The guy who was making food is like, he's like, people like this. There's a murmur amongst the crowd, and it's more positive now. People are shouting down Shiraj. He seems to have sort of shrunk back into his seat, and he's just sort of scowling. And there are certainly some people who are like glaring at you still, and there's still some arguing. But you can see that you've now gained some momentum. And the crowd seems to be on your side for the first time since you started this. And Seamus looks to the rest of you and says, "Okay, well, it's up to you. Do you want me to call for a vote now, or do you want to try anything else?"
Got one more thing that they should know about.
Have at
But
it.
I guess it's up to you two. They should know about. Because quite honestly, this is the strongest connection between the living and the undead.
It'll destroy any credibility I have. They're more
true,
likely
he's
to
supposed
turn
to
on
be a
me
medium.
as saying I'm biased. But if that's an argument you want to make, if you think you could do it, if you
Would
think you
be
could
up
convince
to
them,
be up to you two, if I'm being honest.
Do you think it'll help?
I mean, I think if you stick to the grounds of living and working alongside the people of VANTAM, the fact that you've already got a built-in connection, You share blood. Yours
Not
might be
anymore.
alive and running. Well, there's still blood in there, probably.
We do. It's all dried and dead if it is.
Just thick.
You've got a common background to bring people together.
I'll agree to anything that gets us through to the other side without any more violence. If that's something you want to go with, Grace, I leave it to you.
If it's what you all think will be helpful, then it's fine. But I don't know that's my brother. It might turn out to be false, and I don't know that's going to be a boon for either side.
It's true. You could just stitch flesh on top of a skeleton.
So,
I don't think we should mention that.
what do you think, Hogan?
It doesn't matter.
We gave our case,
We did. And
and they
either-
were willing to listen the second half of it. So
Do you think they've seen Morton's hand running around?
I don't know they'd know the difference if they had.
Looks like this, but it's the other one.
all right, Seamus.
And I guess we're done.
Yes, we're done.
Okay. So what's going to happen now is you've made 3 major arguments. You have failed 2 of them, but you succeeded on 1. So I'm going to roll a secret check.
Can I see? Can I watch it?
Well, it's a secret check. You can't watch it. Roll a secret check.
Secret check.
Based on your successes and failures, it will modify the result.
Okay.
It's your target number. That's how many people have voted not to tear you apart.
Okay.
Will my kite help?
It's going into cinema mode for the secret check.
The secret check cinema.
Oh, it's on the box. I gotta get it in the box. I have the result.
Oh God.
Ostrich gets to go free.
The votes are cast for who says that you are responsible for the violence outside the tower. Season of hands go up. It's hard to get a rough count. They say who votes that they are not responsible. You aren't allowed to vote for yourselves. You're not given that ability. Seamus is counting up everything, tallying everything up. And he looks at you and he has this sort of grim look on his face. He says, turns back to the crowd. Says, it's settled. Whatever has happened is now in the past. We as a community have decided that the 4 living people on this stage were acting in self-defense. We expected there to be some friction when our 2 worlds collided. And I had hoped that it had been in more fortunate circumstances. But I am glad to see that we as a community can come together and understand that friction and see that what sometimes occurs between these 2 worlds is simply unfortunate, unavoidable misunderstandings. Turns back to the 4 of you and says, you can rest easy now. It'll be fine. No one's going to try anything. You did well. Thank you for... I know this was difficult, and I know that there were other paths you considered, but this was the best way. And it worked out fine, you see?
Is that what they actually decided?
Yes, it was a narrow margin. I mean, don't get me wrong, your arguments were not the most compelling I've ever heard, but we're reasonable, and we understand. We're not a collection of monsters. And I hope that as we have seen that you also are not monsters, you will be able to look on us a little more favorably.
We need his things.
I understand, and I've told you that I'm arranging it. As soon as you can talk to Dr. Gage, we can clear that up. I can probably take you to him now, I mean.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Might as well.
Okay.
We should stop by the room first.
Want to get the things?
Yes.
All right. Then
I
that's
don't.
first.
I don't feel exactly safe by some of them. Mainly the one that was really mad at you for some reason, but just personal protections.
Fine.
Sure.
Follow me, and I do a little bird walk.
Yeah, you swing by the room, and there's no objection whatsoever now to you having your weapons. And then takes you to another floor of the building. Takes you up a floor, and you can see that there are sort of these. It's much quieter up here. It has more of a sort of official businessy look here, and you're looking into offices, and you see a lot of paperwork, and you see names on doors. One of them is marked for S. Holiday. You see some other things, but you get to one door in particular, which is marked for
Number 2.
Dr.
I get another
Yeah.
one?
No, you get to replace
Well,
it.
now.
I have to get
So-
rid of
so
one.
here's how
Who's your favorite baby?
No.
Yep, here's how it'll go. You'll roll. I'll tell you what the mutation is, and you tell me which of your current mutations it's going to replace.
That is fair and just. That is fair and just. So it's a 10, yes?
That's right.
Please be something better. Please be something better. I'm so happy with the claw bite.
Man.
What was your other one?
1.
One.
He's got
Okay.
He's got to
Okay.
eat flesh when he's
Another little bit of a weird one. So this one, your arms begin to elongate.
Oh no.
And like almost, especially with your claws, they almost like drag on the floor. You now have 10 feet of natural reach. However, your arms are a little bit more rubbery and difficult to control. You're enfeebled one.
Great surgery.
No!
You're enfeebled one, and you gain no benefit from agile weapons.
You don't use them anyway.
Yeah,
Which of your current mutations is that replaced? Do your hands grow back into regular hands, or do your teeth become regular teeth?
The reach and the claw is a good combo.
Yeah. No, because then it's going to be even better because I could be across the room. I could be talking to Grace and be across the room performing surgery. The teeth don't have to go. I'm sorry.
The teeth have to
I'm
go.
sorry. The teeth, the giant long fangs are gone.
The fangs recede.
But now I've got 10 feet of claw
Feet of
reach.
Yeah. Yep. Claw
That
reach
means
away.
for a touch spell,
That's true for your touch spells. Yeah, you get a little bit of that. So that's a good. Yeah.
I'm keeping the reach. So then I'm just dragging.
Now you've
my
got
hands.
these. Yeah, your hands
Yeah,
basically
like
are
these
dragging
rubber
on the
dragging-
ground.
Are becoming the Slender Man. You know that, right?
When you turn your hands and let your nails drag, you could just create rivets in the floor behind you.
Like the
Yeah.
chalk on the
No,
Yep.
no, no.
Yeah.
That's the only way he walks now.
nails on a chalkboard.
When you're enfeebled, was it enfeebled 1?
Enfeebled one, right?
Who cares? Like, give me doomed one. It doesn't matter. Whatever. I don't even know what that is. I don't care.
Either way, you are brought to the office of Dr.
Thank you,
Phineas.
whoever mutated me. Thank you.
Yes, excellent. Lots of mutations.
Thank you so
this
much. So many
episode.
mutations.
I love it.
So you were brought to the office of Dr. Phineas Gage, and Seamus sort of like checks the room first. Says, yeah, they're here. Okay, excellent. Okay, he can see you now. I'll be here if you need anything.
Thank you.
You do.
I step in.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, brother. Hogan Grayskull.
And I'm all the way across. I'm still inside the door, and I just reach my arm out, and I'm able to put it like the giant claws.
Nice to meet you.
You
It's really funny in this.
when you enter is this sort of like very sparsely furnished office room that really contains, it's mostly bookshelves, and there's lots of files and research.
Does he
scattered
shake my
around.
hand, Jim?
Yeah, and you see this dark-skinned man with a very long braided hair and amber-colored eyes, and you sort of reach across to shake your hand, and not missing a beat, not phased in the least. He shakes your hand. He says,
Love it.
Mr. Grayskull,
Yes.
I presume. Yes, I have heard of the lot of you. I understand that you have had quite a day. And I do apologize for the way things have turned out, though I am glad to see that the ultimate resolution was peaceful. I know it may be difficult to accept, but we do wish for there to be peace between the living and the dead. Traditionally, that has been very difficult, and we know that you may have a difficult time accepting this, but we will do our best to strengthen your trust in us.
Is that why you turned my brother or used his skin into the undead against his will?
I do understand that you also have a very personal connection to this, and there are things I've done in my past that, quite frankly, were wrong. Turning your brother without his consent or knowledge was, at the time, something I considered necessary to advance my research, and it was unethical, and it was, in many ways, monstrous. But it is not something that I would do again, given the chance, and it is not something that we intend to do moving forward.
I think the monstrous part is all the brainwashing.
I understand that you have had a difficult time accepting your brother's decisions since he was raised, and he held a lot of anger, and he was justified in doing so. But the conclusions that he's come to are his own, and now he is a valuable member of our community, and in making sure that what happened to him never happens to anyone else.
Can we see papers on her brother?
I am... What papers would you like to see?
I want to see if he's actually her brother, and he's not just talking and saying that he is.
Well, I think the good question you could answer is, where did you get the body of my brother? And if so, there is some information that we had about where he was lost and with whom.
Your brother left on a ship. He never returned. Was resumed lost at sea. The ship was not entirely lost. It was attacked, and the crew was killed. Only a few of the bodies were ever recovered, and your brother was amongst them. At the time, I purchased on the black market a number of cadavers. At the time, I was attempting to further my research into necromancy, and it was a bit of it was illegal at the time. This was prior to the Freedom of Research Act, and necromancy was forbidden. I acquired your brother's body, and I performed the ritual that turned him into the man he is today. Because of the nature of the work, we hid his existence. And there are others. We continue to hide our existence because there is, as you've seen, quite a lot of friction between the living and the dead. It is not an easy thing for monsters to rise up and say, "Here we are, to live among you."
Well, I just wonder who answers for the sins that you made and the families who you hurt in the process.
Perhaps there is a future where I must face some sort of justice or accountability, and if that is the case, I will accept it when it comes. But until that time, I have to look after the people who trust me to guide them and continue my research so that the people of VANTAM have something to hope for beyond this existence of hiding from the storms, constantly subject to the wild whims of magic beyond their control.
Have you tried harnessing the power of the storm? to perform your rituals. We tried. We almost had a hand. I almost had a hand. It looked very much like this hand. We just couldn't. We were so close.
Your instincts are correct. Harnessing that power has greatly increased the success rate of our rituals and ensured that when people are raised, they are in full command of their faculties and their personality from before they perished. One of our big challenges has been enacting these rituals in a way that does not raise a mindless monster, which traditionally is a lot of what happens. There have been errors in our trials, for sure.
My pet hand tried to choke me to death.
Yes, it is very difficult, especially when you're not working with a completed body. Very difficult.
If your goal's to be remain hidden, just point of order, don't have a skeleton playing a jig on your front doorstep. just a point of order.
Our community is growing to a point where remaining hidden may be a little bit difficult. Listen, I guide the community, but I am not what you would call their leader or master. They don't answer to me. We can ask people like Cochrane not to hold his moonlight fiddling sessions, but they will do as they will do.
He was good. He was
A talented musician. And if things had not turned out as they did, he likely would have had a very long career as a composer.
Did you do that work to him? Did you take his face off?
I actually did not perform the ritual that raised Cochrane. That was Seamus. He is quite talented. He's come a long way.
That's great. What a great line of business. Can't wait to tell Mom that. They're gonna love it.
Now, I understand that the reason ultimately you came here was because there was some salvage that some of my people found that rightfully belonged to you.
It's a bit more than salvage.
I'm aware, Mr. Tripplehill. I'm aware that it's a bit more than that. In truth, we knew about the wagon, and we knew about its contents. Should know that some of the people in VANTAM who have been in contact with you, let's say their operational security is not the greatest. We're not responsible for the automaton that attacked the wagon. We did make efforts to recover the contents of the wagon because we were frankly afraid that such valuable research would get into the wrong hands.
Were you planning to turn over the research back too?
Well, we weren't even sure if you were alive. I do have a way to get in touch with a few key individuals in Resolve, and I would have ensured that the research got into their hands.
Well, as long as the research ends in Resolve, no real harm. Again, I don't think much of the wagon will do you and yours very good. But you're welcome to things that would. It is for the people of VANTAM. But you don't eat, you don't.
Oh,
But
well,
I don't know if you need blankets or furniture.
Those things were incidental. I think you know the true value of what you were carrying. Yes.
I do. Yes, I put it there.
Then there you have it. In the morning, you can take your things and take them to Resolve. I have no issue with it. I would ask that you keep our operation and existence
Hush, hush. Shh.
very hush hush. Shh.
Secrets.
As long as you don't pose a danger to anyone else in the city, I don't see why we should tell anyone.
And it would benefit you to have some sort of representation with the people of Resolve. Perhaps even Seamus. He seems to be about his
we have our plans for making contact with Resolve, and we will do so at a pace that we feel is safe for us.
What about horses?
I understand that, yes, riding into town with the horse in its current state would be a bit of a difficulty.
That would pretty much give away your secrets.
Well,
Even a donkey.
the number of living animals currently in the residence is 0. We're going to have to resolve that particular issue, yes.
Could be Hogan's horse. That seems like one you might have. Just saying. Or even might want.
Did I have a horse?
I think she's saying you could ride an undead skeleton horse, and it wouldn't be out of place for you.
Oh, I would love to ride I would ride an undead skeleton horse all night long.
This is
Ostrich.
Yes, I think that's what Grace was getting at.
Right, yeah.
But it's not an undead skeleton horse. It's a horse that has some of its flesh cut out, and it's upright.
Be your opportunity to turn it into what you want. To practice what you're doing and also ask ostrich things where they need to go.
I don't know. I think we're going to freak out the people of VANTAM who are still living with the dead
We
horse.
already have Hogan.
Yeah. Have you seen my arms?
Have you seen my ostrich legs?
I don't know what's going on.
I have a third hand.
Right.
I must say, your town is very exciting.
Are you taking notes? Please don't.
Always.
No, don't worry. Just inner notes, inner things, and it's like he looks over at the desk, and there's just like whatever note he was working on. It's just.
Stay overnight as our guests, and in the morning we will resolve the issue with the horse.
Skeleton horse. We can make a skeleton horse.
There are a number of solutions we can look into.
Explosion!
You have another hero point.
Such disdain he drops them on there.
I know.
Help me to drop them on there. Dropping them with attitude. But please, let's. Can we consider these matters resolved?
Is there more food?
Plenty. We can have as much as you want.
Great.
There's plenty of meat.
I'm always hungry. Is there room and board?
Well, we're not going to charge you for staying. No, you'll remain as guests of. I don't know. We actually haven't even thought of what to call ourselves.
Perfect. Make sure that.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds like a great name. Perfect.
No. Can we just make sure that Shirash doesn't
Listen.
get in the middle of any of
Shirash
this?
is many things, but if the people decided that you are safe, then you are safe. For him to go against that vote would put him at as much risk as you were in the beginning. We would, of course, take steps to stop any harm that was to come to you.
Right.
I guess I just have one more question. What were you doing about 3 years ago?
Well, about 3 years ago, I was working here. I worked at Postmortal Services. I was one of the heads of research after the Freedom of Research Act was passed.
What can you tell me specifically about the cataclysm at the moment?
Well, I can tell you that I met your friend Grace here very soon after it all happened. I was at work. Half the tower collapsed in on my head, and I would be dead if it weren't for her and her companions come rushing in to save me at the time.
So glad I helped.
So you saved your brother in a roundabout way.
Apparently I did. Wish I could go back and change it.
Roll. I don't know what I'm going to say to roll. Roll like an intelligence-based
Secret.
check.
Roll a secret.
Wisdom or intelligence, whichever one you like. Yeah.
Roll a
secret check, Grace.
Oh, which one is better? Oh, okay. Yeah, that. But I have to tell it. to...
Just
Say what it is.
whisper
Just
it.
tell him you passed it
Or
or
just
failed.
whisper it.
I think it's probably a failure. It's an 11.
Yeah. I mean, you do recall, I mean, it was one of the only jobs you had when you worked for Heroic Endeavors Incorporated with some of your friends. But yeah, you recall, I mean, like, you even recognize Phineas Gage in front of you, like, it all, like those. But a lot of specifics, nothing else sort of comes to mind when you're thinking about that. You all, at this point, he says, well, if that's all, then we'll get you some food. If there's anything else you need, just let us know, and you are our guests. Please make yourselves comfortable for the night.
I might need new pants.
Yeah, I do notice your legs.
Yeah. They're pretty nice. Look how high I can
You could just wear those ones backwards.
Oh, that's true, I guess.
And he calls for Seamus to come back in, take you back down to your rooms. And at this point, all of you who've been talking to can make a perception check. You just gotta roll out of your pipe.
19.
19?
Yep.
11. I rolled a
11.
1.
Oh, wait.
13, everything's fine here.
Yikes.
This is all fine.
How are you?
Yikes, everybody.
We're good. Everything's good. How are
It is
you?
one of those hero points that have been sitting on the table.
26.
26, Zamira. Don't worry, she's got it.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Yes.
Your companions are filing out, and you are sort of the last to leave. And you look back, and you see that Dr. Gage smiles at you. And when he does, you notice that both of his top incisors are exceptionally long.
Uh-oh.
But that's all.
Coins.
Okay. I'll close the door,
Okay.
and then yeah, we'll just go where Seamus is taking us.
Sure. Seamus just takes you back down to the sort of little like living space where there's all the bedrooms sort of off this hub. He says, well, I mean, there's really nobody else here, so you have kind of run of this area. It's all yours. Nobody should bother you. You're safe. I promise. No one's.
Not even the nurse.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she'll bother you.
Seamus,
Yeah.
what type of things has Dr. Gage done to himself?
Done to himself. I don't know what you mean.
All right, nothing. Just wondering. I mean, he's a doctor. He would experiment on himself, probably, or on
You
others.
shouldn't compare other doctors to Hogan. I don't think they all work on
I'm
themselves.
not a
Oh.
doctor.
I don't think
Thank
he's a
you.
doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
That's my point.
I see. Have a good night.
Good night. And he leaves, and you're all sort of left to your own devices. Again, it's been a very long day. I'm sure that some of you may be exhausted. Others of you probably still a little bit hungry. They bring you some food,
Thank you.
because you
I
have to
eat
like
it.
constantly
Yes.
eat. So yeah, they are feeding you a ton. There's food for everybody. And
You get it fast
what do you
enough. My skin turns to stone now, apparently. So
Yeah, I was
there's
wondering,
that.
you were kind of grayish, bluish, strange.
Yeah.
It's getting
Big
worse.
guy.
No, it's getting worse. Phantom is getting worse.
Yes.
We need
Getting
to do
worse. This is getting better.
And I'm 10 feet away from her.
It's
I don't know.
normal.
I flop my
I could look at this. I could reach.
No, that's not normal. Also, Dr. Gage had some type of fangs in his mouth.
Do you think it's and you had a
I
sharp
had
teeth?
fangs.
Do you think it's the whatever the storms?
Don't know. I don't trust anyone in here.
I feel perfectly at ease.
I lay down. If there's a bed, like I drop
There's
down.
like everybody has like essentially a bedroom. Like yeah, you can.
Oh, we have our own bedroom.
Yeah, you all have your own
We have our
individualized
own
room.
bedroom,
Yeah.
do we?
Yeah.
I can't do risky surgery on myself anymore, can I?
I think you can.
But how?
I mean, you
Like,
can,
how does that-
You can still, like, it's not like you have to always reach at something 10 feet away, since
No,
your arms are really
but
long.
think about how long my arms are.
like, you
How
have
would
to-
I?
Just curl it up like an extension cord.
They're
and plop
not
them in.
my intestines. So I
Don't
could-
be ridiculous, Diana. They're his exceptionally long 10-foot arms. They're not his intestines.
I'm
Come on.
so sorry I offended your arms.
Do you need more surgery? Are you still badly
Dude,
badly
I
injured?
was like
Wants it.
almost dead.
Well, you'll get some when you sleep.
Yeah, you will.
Some surgery.
Oh, that's
Okay.
true. We get some when we
Really?
Well, I would
So-
say this: if you are all still, like, if anybody who's still
I
actually
need a little
injured,
bit.
right? Like you all, so alongside,
You know what? It's
the-
fine. I don't
the
need
food
surgery. It's
that
fine.
is brought in.
I'm at
actually,
Michael Jordan
You just go see the
hit
nurse.
points.
there.
What do you need?
There is a cart with a tray of elixirs, and because some of you are still obviously very wounded, and you were never actually seen by the nurse, so Seamus says, "Well, I'm very sorry that things got a little bit away from us, but these actually we don't have much use for them. They should help you though if you were still."
Oh,
Not feeling very well.
I don't believe in alchemy. It's physical surgery for me, or magic. There's none of this
I
potion
think this
stuff.
is magic in liquid form.
Ah.
Like after Zamira takes one,
Thank you for the
and
subscription.
anyone else takes one off, like
Yeah, I'll take
Ostrich
one.
just opens his bag and
Yeah, sure. I
Super
mean,
Marcus
So,
swipes.
so effectively, right now you have a total of 6 moderate elixirs of life. You can
Whoa.
use them now, or Ostrich can just put them all in his bag, or whatever you want to do it.
He's like
How many-
one of those old ladies at the buffet that like takes all.
yeah. I took all garlic bread.
Oh my goodness. How many points do we get when we sleep? I forgot.
I don't remember exactly
times?
how, but it's
Times your
it's not a ton, but it's
constitution?
not terrible. Yeah, you'll get back a number of hit points. We can sort of figure that out like off air. How many you
Okay.
get back from sleeping.
Just keep my vial because
Yeah.
I need like I don't know, like
Okay.
9 hit points. So
All right.
well, good night, everyone.
the
Good night,
moderates are
Samira.
5d6 plus 12.
Copy.
It's a lot of hit points.
That is
They're
nice.
hefty.
Yeah, just hold on to them. Everyone sleep tight and long.
Don't let Seamus bite. Ha. 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 Too soon?
But
Yes.
Sorry.
all right.
So you all retire.
Completely at ease, Jim.
Completely at ease.
Completely at ease.
Completely at ease. Maybe
Completely at
some of
ease.
you completely at ease. Others of you perhaps keeping one eye open.
And feeling okay at where I'm at. Still bloodied.
Totally okay.
Because the last one that touched me was a nurse.
Yeah.
We can't change that.
Can't change
We
it.
can't make it like that was
I
it.
don't want to do
That
anything
was
about it. Yeah, I want to keep it there. So you all, one by one, drift off to sleep.
And I
Sometime
say,
later.
Before I go to sleep, I say, "Good night, ghost that's watching me."
Oh my gosh.
And Beatrice sticks her head
Beatrice.
through the ceiling and says, "Good night, Hogan." So you all drift off to sleep, exhausted from a very long, very intense day. This is some time later. It is completely dark. It's the dead of night. And Hogan,
Dead of night.
you are awakened by the sound of like hinges creaking. Oh no. And when you look, you see that your door has slid open just a little bit. And you see just a flicker of movement through the door. What do you do?
Is that you, nurse?
Ew.
Nurse, are you back here to finish me off?
Oh, whoa. Okay.
healing, guys.
Yeah.
Healing.
The door opens a little bit wider, and you do see the pale form of the nurse. She says, "Are you asleep?"
No, I'm talking to you. I'm not asleep.
I wanted to show you something. Would you come with me?
I'm like so excited. I'm trying to fumble. I'm trying to fumble out of bed with my new long arms. I'm like, trying to get my coat on. Yeah, hold on. Let me get my. I'm trying to put my coat on. Could you help me with my coat?
Yeah, she helps you with your coat.
Helps me get my coat on.
That's true. You've got like most of your arm out through the whole. Like you're basically you're wearing like a short sleeve
It's tall
jacket
guy
now,
problems,
effectively.
but it's tall guy. That's my problems in real life. I can't wear long sleeve stuff. I got to do 3/4
Even in the
roll.
game, it follows
Even in the
you.
game, why'd you do this to me, Jim?
They did.
Why'd you do this to me, Jim?
So she helps you get dressed,
Yeah.
and then she like very quietly leads you out from your room, out into the corridors.
This is so
Everything
exciting.
is dead quiet. Everything is dead,
Dead
silent.
quiet.
Or
Dead.
Undead quiet.
Secret.
And she leads you down a set of stairs. So you're in something of a basement.
This is not good.
And then she leads you into this room that you see there's this large, oval, deep pool of water. And she looks back at you and she like steps down into the water. And she says, would you come with me?
Change the category to hot tub stream. No! The beaches.
No!
Arms first?
I'm-
No.
Arms first.
Arms first.
Yes, I checked the temperature.
Yeah, it's pleasant. It's fine.
This seems delightful. And I go,
Yeah.
and get in the water.
So you get down in the water and she's just like watching, and she's still like staring at the stitched up cut running down your face.
You can touch it.
Oh
And she
my.
does. She runs her hand out. She says, "It's very interesting. I think there's a place for you here, Hogan Grayskull."
I know you told me.
She grabs your shoulders.
Oh no, no.
And she steps very close to you, and
No.
there's this moment, like you're almost certain, like you've seen these interactions before, you're like almost certain she means to like kiss you, but she doesn't. She's just still watching, and she says, "It's going to be okay." And she very violently, very quickly twists her body so that and jams you under the water.
And I'm underwater?
She jams you under the water, and she's just holding you, and she's just looking. There's no change in her expression. She's just watching you. What do you do?
Use your arms.
I
kinda-
claw her back.
Okay.
But just for fun, Jim.
Oh, just for fun.
So romantic.
Just for fun.
Okay. I mean, she's just holding you under the water, and she feels your long arms like go around her, and that's when you see like she smiles, and she wraps her arms around you as well, and she holds on to you, and she's like an anchor, and her skin is very, very, very cold. And she just drives you down to the bottom of this pool, and you can feel the tile against your back.
What?
And then we start to pull away until we can just see the surface of the water. And there's a little bit of steam, and the ripples are from the previous commotion are fading and fading. A minute, 2 minutes pass.
Are you not doing anything?
We see this burst of bubbles at
Did
the
you
top
fart?
of the water.
Sorry.
Damn it! And then we end the. God damn it!
Every time.
He was gonna kiss.
Every time, you guys.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Dad. Don't hate me, please.
You stop laughing upstairs. You stop laughing. This is amazing.
That's it for VANTAM. That's all for us tonight.
No, I'm
That's
sorry.
the end of the episode.
No.
That's where I wanted to end it. It wasn't about farts, but that is the end of the episode. But I'll tell you what, everybody, we're going to be back with this team the week after next. But that
Best
doesn't-
team.
But,
Blue
yeah.
team, best team.
Blue team is this is actually the next episode of Blue Team will be the last episode.
Oh.
No, it's not the last episode of VANTAM. It's your last
Of the
episode.
run.
Yes, the next Blue Team episode is the last Blue Team episode.
Got
We
it.
do have Red Team episodes coming up
Has everything
next week.
inside that? You guys
That's
just
us. Red
others-
team.
I know.
Red team was like that. Yeah, the red team likes when blue team fails.
Next week, red team is showing up to bring the heat. To see if they can also ruin one of my endings. They're very good at so
Yeah,
far. You guys are
They did
1-1.
last week.
So far, you're
Yeah.
1-1 for messing up my endings. It's okay. I'm just teasing you guys. It's all great. But either way, yes, make sure that you check us back here 6 p.m. Friday night for Red Team. Before that, though, we have our Heroic Endeavors episode on Tuesday, but that's over on twitch.tv/official Paizo. That's Paizo's show. And I will be back in the GM seat coming up on Heroic Endeavors. So I'm looking forward to doing all that nonsense. It'll be a really great time. Looking forward to it. Until then, let's get out of here. Let's go. We're done. I'm out of here. That's it. I'm done. I'm over it. It's time to leave.
Good night.
Ah, that's
Take the
so
wings
hot.
off.
Oh my god, I thought it was real.
We'll see y'all next time.